Hello everyone, I'm Charlie. Today, my group members and I are going to present about the part 5, which is augmented reality and virtual reality. We have divided into 4 parts, which is the perspective, introduction, contents, and closure. In perspective, we have divided into 3 parts as well, which is about the augmented reality, virtual reality, and convergence of augmented reality and virtual reality, which is known as the mixed reality. Secondly, we are going to present about the introduction. In introduction, we are going to deliver about the definition, examples, as well as the application. Thirdly, we are going to deliver about the contents. In contents, we are going to present about the pros, cons, similarities, as well as the differences between the augmented reality and virtual reality. Lastly, we are going to present the closure, which is about the conclusion of augmented reality and virtual reality. In perspective aspect, each of us have a different opinions about the AR, VR, and mixed reality. Well, in my opinion, augmented reality is about digital informations onto the physical world, which enhancing the real-world environments with virtual elements such as the graphics, text, or the sensory inputs. For the integrations with reality of AR, which enhances the user's view of the real world by adding digital layers, which can be viewed through smartphones, AR glasses, or other wearable devices. This allows for a real-time interactions with the physical and the virtual world simultaneously. Secondly, it's about the virtual reality. Virtual reality is a fully digital environment which disconnecting them from a physical world, which means there's no interactions between the virtual and also the physical world. This can make the user's experience entirely simulated realities that can replicate or deviate from the real-world experience. Lastly, it's about the mixed reality. There is a growing trend towards this mixed reality, which means it's a combination elements of both AR and VR, allowing for a blend of real and virtual worlds where physical and digital objects interact in a real time. The devices like Microsoft HoloLens and emerging technologies like the metaverse aim to merge these experiences, offering a hybrid reality that may redefine digital interactions, remote work, and entertainment. That's all for my perspective. Now, I'm going to present about the examples of augmented reality and virtual reality. In AR, there are 3 examples, known as the Pokemon Go, Google Lens, and IKEA Place. Pokemon Go is a physical activity while blending the virtual world of Pokemon with the player's real environment. Secondly is the Google Lens. It's an image recognition that allows the users to point their camera at objects and get contextual information. Thirdly is the IKEA Place. It's visualize how IKEA furniture will look in their homes, which help the customer to make a better purchasing decision. Next, I'm going to present about the virtual reality. There are 3 examples of virtual reality too, which are the Google Earth VR, healthcare and surgical training, and education. In Google Earth VR, it's a VR that extension allows the user to fly around the globe, explore the cities, and visit the famous landmarks from a 3D first-person perspective. Secondly is the healthcare surgical training. It's a training surgeon by simulating the operations and procedures in a 3D environment. Thirdly is the education, where the students and the teachers interact in a virtual classroom or engage in immersive educational experiences. That's it for the examples of AR and VR. I'll make it detailed later on my next slide. Thanks. Alright, this is the examples that I've mentioned just now. The first one is Pokemon Go. A Pokemon Go is a location-based AR mobile game developed by the Niantic. The game uses your phone GPS to detect where you are and make the Pokemon appear around you on your phone screen as if they are in the real world. Players walk around in the real world to catch these creatures using their phone's camera. The industry that involved in this Pokemon Go is gaming and entertainment. This encourages the physical activity while blending the virtual world of Pokemon with the player's real environment. Secondly is the Google Lens. It's an image recognition app by Google that allows the users to point their camera at objects and get the contextual information. It can identify the landmarks, products, and books, and even help translate the text in real time. The industry that involved in it is retail, travel, and education. This makes the users instantly find the product details by pointing their camera at an item or translating the signs or documents while traveling, enhancing the convenience and accessibility. Thirdly is the IKEA Place. IKEA Place is an AR app that lets the users visualize how IKEA furniture will look in their homes. Using a phone camera, customers can select a piece of furniture and virtually not place it in their real-world environment to see if it fits the space and matches the decor. Retail and interior designs are the industries that involve in it. This helps the customers to make a better purchasing decisions by visualizing the products in their homes before buying. This also reducing the returns and improving the customer satisfaction. Fourthly, it's a Google Earth VR. It's a VR extension of Google Earth that allows the users to fly around the globe, explore the cities, and visit the famous landmarks from a 3D environment, which is in a first-person perspective. It gives the users the sensation of traveling around the world without leaving their homes. The industry that involved in it is travel and education. This enables the users to virtually explore distant places, offering an educational opportunities for geography lessons or a way for travelers to experience the places that they cannot physically visit. Next is the healthcare in surgical training. It's a VR that used for training surgeons by simulating operations and procedures in a 3D environment. These VR simulations allow the medical students and professionals to practice the surgeries without the risk of harming the actual patients. The industry that involved in it is healthcare and education. This enhances the medical education by providing the realistic practice scenarios, allowing the healthcare professional to improve their skills and gain experiences in rare or complicated procedures. Lastly, is the Engage VR for education. It's a VR platform that allows the students and teachers to interact in virtual classroom or engage in immersive educational experiences. It supports simulations such as the virtual space exploration or historical reenactments. Education and training are the industry that involve in it. This enhances the learning by providing the interactive and immersive environment where students can explore, manipulate objects, or experience historical events as if they were there. These detailed examples showcase how AR and VR are applied in various industries, from social media and gaming to healthcare, education, as well as the industrial application. That's all for the examples of augmented reality and virtual reality. Now I'm going to present about the pros and cons of augmented reality and virtual reality. The pros of AR is blends real and virtual worlds, increases engagement, and enhances learning and training. For its cons, it's about the limited immersions, dependence on hardware quality, and privacy and security concerns. While for the virtual reality, the pros of it is full immersion, effective training and simulation, improved learning and retention. For its cons is about the high cost of entry, motion sickness and physical discomfort, as well as the limited mobility and space requirements. Let's get detailed into each point. The blends real and virtual worlds of the pros of AR. It's an AR overlays virtual elements onto the real world, enhancing the real-life experiences without replacing them. This is useful for applications like navigations, Google Maps Live View, retail IKEA place, and also education. A Google Lens enhances the real-world interaction by providing real-time information about the objects and surroundings. Secondly is increases engagement. It's an AR apps and experiences that are often interactive and engaging, making them appealing for marketing, Snapchat the filters, gaming, Pokemon Go, and education. The example of it is such as the AR in social media apps like Instagram or Snapchat increases the user engagement with playful filters. Thirdly is the enhances learning and training. It's an AR can be used in education and training by providing hands-on interactive learning environments, improving the retention of information. The example of it is AR can assist the technician in industrial settings by overlaying repair guides directly onto the equipment. Well, for its cons, it's the limited immersion. A limited immersion is an AR enhances the real world, but it doesn't offer full immersion like the VR. The virtual elements can be less convincing since they are superimposed on a real-world background. The example of it such as the Pokemon in Pokemon Go don't fully blend into the environment, making the illusions incomplete. Secondly is the dependence on hardware quality. The experience can vary significantly depending on the device used, such as the smartphone or the tablet which have a low or a poor quality. A poor camera quality, or a low resolution screens, or a limited processing power can affect the quality of AR. For the example, such as the older smartphones may struggle to handle the complex AR applications smoothly. Thirdly is the privacy and security concerns. AR apps often require access to cameras, location, and personal data that raising privacy concerns. Misuse of this data can lead to privacy violation. The example of it is such as the apps like Google Lens need to collect the image data, raising the concerns about how this information is stored and used. Well, now let's get into the pros of VR. It's about the full immersion. VR offers a fully immersive experience, allowing the users to feel like they are inside a virtual world. This level of immersion is ideal for gaming, education, and training. The example of it is in Half-Life, Alyx, players feel as if they are physically present in a post-apocalyptic world that interacting with objects and characters in a real time. Secondly is effective training and simulation. It's a VR that allows the users to practice skills or scenarios in a risk-free virtual environment. This is valuable for fields like medical training, flight simulation, and military training. The example of it is the medical students will use the VR to practice the surgeries without required live patients, reducing the risk of errors. Thirdly is improve the learning and retention. VR is highly engaging, which enhances the learning and retention by providing the interactive, hands-on experiences in an immersive environment. The example of it is such as the students can virtually explore historical sites or perform the scientific experience in a way that would not be possible in real life. Lastly, it's about the cons of VR, which is about the high cost of entry. A VR system requires expensive equipment like headsets, controllers, and sometimes high-performance computer, which can be a barrier to widespread adoption. The example of it, such as the Oculus Quest or the Valve Index, can be costly for a casual users, limiting the audience to enthusiasts or professionals. Secondly is a motion sickness and physical discomfort. A VR can cause the motion to sickness or nausea in some users due to the disconnect between the physical and also the virtual movement. The extended use can also lead to eye strain or headache. The example of it is some users report feeling dizzy or nauseous after playing fast-paced VR games like the Beat Saber. Thirdly is limited the mobility and space requirements. It's a VR system that often requires significant physical space for the user to move around, and some applications require the tethering to a computer, limiting the mobility. The example of it is in a room-scale VR experiences, users may need to clear an entire room to avoid the bumping into the objects. Both technologies have significant potential, but their applications are actually depend on the context and also the user's need. That's all for my presentations of the perspective, pros and cons, as well as the examples of augmented reality and virtual reality. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cindy Chin Fei Ann, and I'm going to explain about applications of augmented reality and virtual reality, AR and VR. For AR, it is used in medical sector to overlay patients' data in surgeries such as MRI and CT scans to help improve precision. Moreover, it is also used in visualizing anatomy during medical training to help doctors practice procedures. Next, in education, AR enhances learning by converting digital information onto real-world objects, such as turning textbooks into interactive experiences, bringing historical events into life, or visualizing complex objects. Lastly, in navigation, AR-powered navigation apps shows 3D directions in real time, which helps users see turning arrows, landmarks, or points of interest in real time. On the other hand, VR is used in education to create immersive learning experiences such as interactive simulations and 3D visualizations on complex objects. Next, in retail, specifically IKEA, VR let customers design and visualize furniture setups in virtual environments, allowing them to experiment with different layouts before purchasing. Last but not least, in urban design, VR helps architects and city planners to visualize, test, and refine urban layouts in a 3D virtual space, enabling better planning decisions. Now I'm going to introduce mixed reality, which combines real and virtual worlds. Some of its characteristics include 1. It produces black and opaque solid objects. 2. It enhances collaboration by allowing users in different locations to interact with the same mixed environment. 3. It allows users to adjust and add shadows, light, and colors to the objects. And 4. It offers immersive learning and training environments which blends virtual elements into the real world, such as a type of Windows mixed reality, which is Microsoft HoloLens, that is used in industrial training or design, but sadly it is discontinued. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I am Shadira. I would like to talk about definitions of augmented reality and virtual reality. For augmented reality, it's a technology that superimposes a computer-generated image on a user's view of the real world. Thus, it's providing a composite view. For virtual reality, it's a computer-generated simulations of a three-dimensional image or environment that can be interacted with in a scenario or physical way by using special electronic equipment. For instance, headset or glove fitted with sensors. Augmented reality and virtual reality have their own functions, but they share several similarities. Those are using of digital elements and they require a device. Plus, they provide immersive experiences and they are applied in various fields such as gaming, education, and anything else. Um, then, they are able to interact with the digital content. Last but not least, they enhance user experience. On top of that, there are differences of augmented reality and virtual reality. First level of immersion. Augmented reality provides partial immersion and enhancing reality without fully replacing it. For virtual reality, it offers complete immersion and making users feel as if they are in a completely different reality. Next, different devices. Augmented reality can be experienced through smartphones, tablet, or AR glasses. Virtual reality requires a VR headset that fully immerses the user in a digital world. Last but not least, difference of interactions. For augmented reality, users interact with both physical objects and virtual elements in the real world. For virtual reality, users interact entirely within the virtual world and are cut off from the physical environment.